Naval officer Yerima, known for confronting FCT Minister Wike, allegedly bypasses airport screening with pistol, slams value jet for disrespect after interception. Okay? A Nigerian Navy officer, Lieutenant Adam Mohammed Yerima, has been accused of breaching aviation security protocol after allegedly bypassing mandatory passenger screening and attempting to board a commercial flight with a pistol. Sahara reporters learned that Lieutenant Yerima, who is also known in public discourse for previously confronting the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) Wike, gained access to the boarding terminal through the military wing of the airport. Sahara reporters further gathered that Lieutenant Yerima entered the boarding terminal through the military wing of the airport, thereby avoiding standard civilian security screening. He's not a civilian, so why do you want him to go through the civilian security screening? I don't understand. Abi, because what are people trying to do now? You want to like look for something to put on his head and say, oh, he did something wrong. I don't understand. Is it not a military? He went through the military wing to the airport. You are saying he should come to civilian security screening. For what now? Before attempting to board a value jet airlines flight. The officer reportedly accused the airline of disrespect after he was stopped for breaching aviation regulations. According to multiple sources familiar with the incident, which occurred at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, the lieutenant was armed with a pistol. Before, is he not the military person? An item strictly prohibited for passengers on commercial flights under Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) regulations unless properly declared and handled through approved security channels. Sources told Sahara reporters that airline security officials noticed the breach and prevented Yerima from boarding the aircraft with the firearm. They insisted that it complies with civil aviation rules applicable to all passengers, including uniformed personnel traveling on commercial flights. After the initial resistance, the officer reportedly submitted to due process, including proper screening and declaration procedures, after which he was eventually allowed to board the flight. However, the incident escalated beyond the airport terminal. Following the episode, the Nigerian military reportedly wrote an official letter to Value Jet Airlines, accusing the airline of disrespecting military personnel and demanding a formal apology from the carrier for stopping the officer from boarding with his weapon. Because he should not carry his weapon now. Maybe one of Wike's fans will now see him and try to do something. How is he going to protect himself? I don't understand. Some reporters gathered that Lieutenant Yerima completely skipped standard passenger screening by entering the boarding terminal through the restricted military wing of the airport. I don't understand. He's a military person, so why can't he go through the military wing? Rather than passing through the designated civilian security checkpoints, you say here now, civilian, military. Is it a civilian? It's not a civilian. Aviation regulations require that all passengers, regardless of status, if probably if they've told him that one, he wouldn't have gone through the military. Okay, so why do you now have a military wing in the airport when aviation regulation requires that all passengers, regardless of their status, undergo screening before boarding commercial aircraft? Then there should not be any military wing, because what's the purpose? Firearms, even when legally possessed, must be formally declared and handled under strict security protocols. Yet, according to sources, Yerima proceeded directly towards the aircraft with his pistol in violation of this rule until airline officials intervened. Industry insiders say the incident is far from isolated and reflects a recurring pattern at major Nigerian airports where military personnel frequently refuse to subject themselves to standard boarding procedures. A senior Value Jet official who spoke on conditions of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the matter told Sahara reporters that such incidents are common and often involved intimidation of airline staff. This is the usual practice of military personnel. They refuse to subject themselves to boarding protocols and often threaten airline officials when asked to comply, the source said. The official also admitted that airlines are not entirely blameless, revealing that some carriers, including Value Jet, have at times facilitated these breaches through protocol arrangements to avoid confrontation. They send protocol officers to receive boarding passes on their behalf and go straight to board the flight, skipping all checks and going from the military wing of the airport straight to the aircraft, the source disclosed. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria (FAN) has also come under scrutiny for allegedly failing to address repeated complaints about such security breaches. Multiple sources told our reporters that reports submitted to FAN over similar incidents have gone unanswered, with the authority often accused of siding with military officers rather than enforcing aviation safety rules. In a recent incident at Port Harcourt International Airport, airline staff reportedly reported military personnel for violating boarding protocols instead of sanctioning the officers. FAN allegedly reprimanded the airline, while the officer faced no consequences before. Aviation experts warn that these practices pose grave security risk in a sector where uniform enforcement of rules is critical to passenger safety. Under NCAA regulations, all passengers must be screened, and restricted items such as firearms must follow strict declaration, storage, and handling procedures, even when carried by authorized personnel traveling in a civilian capacity. A source added that allowing any category of passengers to bypass checks undermines the entire aviation security framework and exposes aircraft, crew, and passengers to avoidable risk. Despite repeated incidents and growing concerns from industry insiders, there has been no public disciplinary action against offending officers or institutional reforms to end the practice. Now, wow. You want to collect naval pistol? I don't understand. I don't understand. CP Thompson says this man will one day confront Tinubu to tell him the truth that we are not telling him. Marvel says, make he give you a service pistol to keep before. I don't craze. I don't understand. Tochukwu says there are special protocols for members of the armed forces when it comes to security screening. They do not drop their firearms. I'm telling you. It's because it involves that Yerima. That's why they are putting this in the news, because I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think so. Mukim says, please the way he won't take protect himself from Wike, may he give on a get. Imagine one, maybe Wike is monitoring him up and down. It's very possible. You now want him to drop his firearm for waiting. I beg go. Abubakar says even President and Vice President aide de camp must submit their sidearms to the aircrew. No one board arm unless it's military aircraft. I beg. Like say you don't go airports before. You know the rules. I beg. I can't say you submit it to the airport security and confirm it at the foot of the aircraft before boarding, and on arrival you collect it. Yeah? I don't understand. You drop it, you will give your gun to somebody else. That's a lie. That is a lie. Even if you know sabi anything, we shall watch movie. I beg. Which kind of lie be that? My listeners, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.